Well, hello everyone. My name is Danielle McGill, disability consultant for Empowered Possibilities. I'm here today with Yesseina Levya from Broward County and Miami-Dade County. She's an advocate for people with disabilities, and today I am interviewing her for the Breaking Barriers to Independence. So let's welcome Yesse.
Hi, how are you? Thanks for having me.
So how are you?
Good, so far so good, and just grateful for the opportunities that have come about and for being, with you here today. And I just think it's so important to talk about all of these things that oftentimes go unheard and unseen. So I always tell you, I'm very proud of you and thank you for bringing these issues and topics to light.
Well, we're a team and that's what matters. All advocates need to come together and unite our voices as one on issues like this. So I am thankful to have you here today and to join in this celebration that's coming up at the end of the month.
Definitely.
Like the 30th anniversary. So I'm very excited. So can you please tell me what got you into advocacy and how did you develop this passion to help people become more included in everyday life?
Well, it's kind of interesting, and I always like to tell people because if you see me now, you would think, well, you've been in this field, if you will, your entire life, and not necessarily has it been that way. I come from a place, if you will, where I was always treated normal. I was always included in the community. So really there was no sense, if you will, or there was no opportunity at the time to go into any special needs related or disability related service per se, other than the regular medical needs. I was born with spina bifida, which is when your spine's open at birth. And so with that came a lot of complications, the nerve damage, the shunt, the paralysis, the failure of the bladder and the kidneys, all these different things. And so obviously I needed a lot of medical attention.
So you were a fighter since day one.
Since day one, yes. And with a lot of surgeries and operations and physical therapy and like being told, or my parents rather being told, you don't qualify for X and Y, Z reason, or you're not disabled enough, or you're too disabled, and those are things that I think everyone with a disability has gone through that in their own way.
Labels.
Exactly. Even in the education system, you're too high functioning, you're not low functioning enough, all these different things. So through my own experiences is where I have learned the do's and don'ts, if you will, what to say, what not to say, how to advocate for myself. I was always blessed to have people to help me advocate around me and teach me how to do so for myself. So it wasn't until I became an adult, way after I became an adult rather, where I realized there's more for me out there. I'm living at home, I'm dependent on my parents and my family. What's going to happen? You always have that question in the back of your mind. Let's say no one's there, God forbid. What happens to Jesse in the adult?
Yeah, or what happens when our parents pass away?
Exactly. What happens when your parents pass away? How are you going to make it? Are you going to make it? Are you going to end up in something that you advocate against, which is going into an assisted living facility or a group home, so all of these things come into your mind. And so it wasn't until 2011 where I had literally lost everything as it pertained to my benefits. I had lost my SSI. I didn't know I qualified for Social Security disability. I wasn't driving at the time. I was told I owed the government thousands of dollars because it was given to my parents when I was little for me, and they made too much money. So all of these different things that I learned as an adult that I now had to find help to help advocate for myself. And it was at that moment where
it pushed you to advocate for others.
It helped me to advocate.
That was your defining moment.
that was my defining moment, because I was like, I wonder if I'm going through this, how many others, thousands of people are going through this and not even knowing what to do or what not to do. Because it's not always about, what you can do or what you should say. It's, where you should modify or change what you know and what you say, and help yourself in that way. And so it wasn't until 2011 that I seeked help with, as you know, Center for Independent Living of Broward. They taught me everything I know now, and I always say that. And I became empowered. I became empowered with the resources, the knowledge, the benefits counseling knowledge. And there was, like Danielle, like you said, my defining moment where now I was able to help other people with disabilities the same way they had helped me. And it became kind of like a reverse psychology, because now I was helping people with disabilities same way someone helped me. And I was working through my personal struggles, emotionally, mentally, and everything else, because now I was helping other people.
And a lot of people forget that even as an advocate, you set aside your own well-being for others always, right. And you forget yourself. Right. But it seems like you enjoy seeing that light go on when you help someone through a transition, or help them receive the benefits they need, or just help them find their true ability in what they like to do versus what they're told to do.
That is my favorite part right there, what they like to do versus what they're told to do. And my favorite thing includes, advocating for your own normal. We're always taught of society, and this is what we have to do, and this is what we have to follow. And by the time you're, 30 years old, you should be married with children. So we put that pressure on ourselves, or societal pressure, to live, to live up to a certain standard. And I always like to tell people that I come across is, what is your standard for yourself? What are your talents and abilities? What is your timeline for yourself? Not society standards or timeline for you. That's something that we have to set up on our, for ourselves. And same thing with independence. You and I, everyone that's around us, we preach independence because we believe in it 100%.
But what is independence to you?
Exactly. Like, what is independence? Independence means something different for everybody, right? And I always, I like to go back a little bit. Independence for me used to be, I have to live on my own. I have to have my own place. I have to, do what everybody else does. That was independence to me. And then one day, literally, I was like, you know what? No, that's not what independence is for me. Independence for me is being able to work and make, my income, and be able to be independent in my own way, which would be, financially to a point, being able to drive, being able to be included in the community in different, activities, or in different ways, being able to do what I love to do on a day-to-day basis, and being around people that I want to be around is what my independence means to me. It no longer means that I have to live up to, like I said, a standard, or I have to be out and about, married, kids, and maybe that's not for me. And I didn't realize that until, again, I was doing what I love to do, which is advocating, helping people, working with my kids. And I say my kids, but they're students of all different ages, through the fashion shows and the advocacy and the school system and all of that. I promise you that when I became close to that group, because it's a group where I've seen them grow up, from 2011 or so to now, and they're still with me.
And I bet they still contact you.
They still
tell you what they're up to and what they're doing, and it puts a smile on your face. I could just see it right now.
It is my most favorite thing in the entire world, and I get goosebumps, and that's my independence. That being able for them to count on me, and to have them around, and to know that I make an impact in them in some way. And I no longer feel that void of, well, I'm not a mom, or am I ever going to have children? Am I ever going to get married? Because maybe there's something for everybody. And maybe if I didn't have my journey and my disability, not maybe, for sure, I would not be able to be an impact as I am to them.
Hmm.
And I wouldn't change that for anything in the world.
That's a very unique and different perspective
Yeah.
from many others that I've spoken to about this kind of independence. Your outlook is completely different and it's refreshing in a way.
Yeah, but it's an outlook that hasn't always been there. And that's what I would love people to know is, we decide what our independence is for ourselves. We decide what our outcome is in life. We should not allow society or even sometimes the people closest to you to define who you are and what your outcome is going to be. It's an outcome that was given to you, it's a mission that was given to you. And the question is, what are we going to do with it? And how far is it going to get us in life? Or are we going to let our disability and our mindset limit our ability to get to where we can be?
And sometimes we are our own worst enemy, the way we talk to ourselves, our inner selves. And that's
Absolutely.
something that we all, like, with people with disabilities, I think we all face that commonality where we tend to doubt our abilities, but it's people like us that help individuals discover those strengths and how to build on those abilities so they could succeed.
Yeah.
I want to ask you, how has the ADA impacted your life?
I think now I know that knowledge is power. And so just knowing that those sets of laws are out there to our benefit, to protect us as individuals with disabilities, to educate other people, it's a powerful tool. And more than anything, I know that it's helped me empower and teach other people and let them know, like, hey, this is there. This is a tool that's there to help you. And for me, the most important part, if you will, of the ADA has been the employment aspect of, of the whole ordeal, because for me, my journey to independence began with employment services. So, and that's why I'm so passionate about it, because there's so many things that we don't know. And because we don't know, then we freeze and we don't do anything, or we count on the professionals, the so-called professionals, to guide our path, and sometimes I wonder, are they really doing it with the right intentions or not? So I really believe in the employment aspect, as far as our right to gainful and independent employment, our right to
Integrative
created
employment, the right
and
to decide.
you know me so well, Danielle.
Yeah.
Yeah, the
Well,
integrate.
a lot of people don't know us. We went to school with each other.
Yes.
And
Yeah.
you actually helped me. We were both in the same grade, and I
Yeah.
would like to share this story. You actually advocated for me when it came to my test accommodations. You remember
Really?
Mrs. Klein,
I remember Mrs. Klein. Yes.
science class? She
Yes.
wasn't allowing me to have extra time. And you went
Okay.
up to her and you said, no, she's allowed to have extra time. It says on her IEP. And I was like, go Yesse. Because I
And
was
that,
still silent.
oh,
But
really?
you
And that
showed
just,
me how to advocate for myself
that
in
is
school.
amazing. That is
I still
amazing.
remember that till this day.
That is
So,
amazing. I'm grateful for that. That's awesome. And so that tells you that it's always been in me. It's always been, it's just a part of me, and I used to say, my name is Jessie and I have spina bifida. And I used to define myself with having a disability. And now I'm at a point where it's a part of me, but it's not who you are, or it's not
yes.
who I am. And that's a perfect example that it's always been a part of me, the advocacy and all of that. And I remember in high school, I was my own advocate because nobody could tell me anything, and it came to that because I became empowered. So that's a really cool story.
And
Love it.
can you tell us What is it that you're doing in the community? Because I see you do fun inclusion. I see you do Yes with Yesse. I see you do all these different types of projects. So can you um, help us understand exactly what you do?
Well, I'm the WOE, the woman of everything. I always get around and say, but a couple things. First and foremost is always the inclusion and the advocating for individuals with disabilities to obtain and maintain the proper services and accommodations that they need for their independence. And I do that through my disability programs and training services. I also have, which also includes the benefits counseling, trainings, and different things. My thing, people need to be educated on the resources, information, and how to obtain or maintain benefits for themselves. So that's my number one. Then I'm also founder of Funclusion, which is a production promoting inclusion while having fun. That was kind of a whoops moment because that was born in 2014 when I love media. If you follow me, I love media. I love all that stuff. And I was always told no or denied an opportunity because I have a disability. So I was always told I'm a liability. You're a liability for a photo shoot. You're a liability for the red carpet. I was always a liability. Like, okay. I gave up on it for a while. And then in 2014, I obtained the opportunity to be connected to a television channel, Univision, who has it's one of the main channels, and they have an annual telethon which fundraises for kids with disabilities to obtain their occupational and physical therapy. So it's called CRITS, Children's Rehabilitation Institute Telethon. They are around the country. I mean, Colombia, Ecuador,
That's
Texas.
amazing.
They're pretty huge. So when I learned about that, I said, I want to get involved with that. I tried in 2013 and they never responded. 2014, they said, if you can put an event together, we will invite you to the station, to Univision. You can share your story. However, you have to fundraise like some $5,000-$7,000.
Wow.
Yeah. And I was like, I can do the event because I've been doing events before. I don't know about raising that money. They were like, it doesn't matter, do what you can and we'll see. So this was the first event I ever planned on my own because before that, I did fashion shows and these different things, but through work or different agencies and collaborations. So when this happened, I said, okay, I didn't even think about it. This was literally, so the telethon was in December of 2014.
Okay.
We were in November at some point. So I only had 4 weeks to make this event happen. 4 weeks. Okay. And I had nothing. So I went to an event one night. I was invited by a friend. And long story short, that one night I was introduced, actually, I was introduced to someone that would later provide me an opportunity to be a red carpet host. Then, yeah, which was pretty awesome. And then later on, after this event, someone reached out to me. We never met in person the day of the event, but they reached out to me after, like, hey, I saw you at the red carpet event. I just wanted to reach out and introduce myself. This person has a daughter with a disability. This is the same person. That's why he reached out. He's like, I saw that you have your cane and I have a daughter with a disability, and he wanted to know more of what I do and things like that. So we connected via telephone and email, and then he would later be the one to help me produce my first Funclusion in 2014, that same month. So with him, he provided artists and DJ music, the whole 9 yards. Fast forward that week, I went to the German American Club, which is where we hosted the event for 5 years, 4 years, for 4 years. The gentleman there, he was the president of the German American Club, and he sponsored the location right away, relatively speaking. So everything just lined up. I firmly believe that when God is in the picture and you have purpose, things just line up for the good. And so that's how Funclusion was born. And 6 years later, I'm still doing Funclusion. That was supposed to be 1 year. But I love it because it provides an opportunity for individuals with disabilities to be included in the community through
Yeah.
something that a lot of times we don't think we can do, which is music, going to concerts,
And that's part of the ADA in itself, being able to participate in your community, even in recreational activities, and to have that equality there as well, not just for employment and transportation, but also for social gatherings and so forth. Now it's virtual gatherings. But,
I know, which I'm not a fan of, but we'll see. But it was interesting because the original goal of Funclusion is promoting inclusion through entertainment. That could be anything, right? But it then became a platform for all people, all walks of life, all backgrounds to be gathered and united through the arts and through music. And then all of a sudden, I have real people with real disabilities performing, paraplegics or cancer survivor. I had a military veteran. So it was literally like the unity and the inclusion and the diversity of everyone. And that was, to me, that's everything. So
it's wonderful.
Definitely grew. So we'll see how it goes. So we're working on to see, what we do for the next one, virtually.
When is the next one?
We don't have a date yet. We're working on it. No, we're kind of, I guess, wanting to see where this whole coronavirus situation goes and what we can do.
Well, keep us informed.
Definitely.
Where can we find this information?
You guys can go to my website. It's DPT for Disability Programs Training Solutions.org, dptsolutions.org, and of course, even better on Facebook, just Yesseina Levya all throughout Facebook. I also have a Facebook for Funclusion and Disability Programs and Training.
Like she said before, everyone, she's on social media. She loves media, and she also loves to see people in person as well as through virtual platforms.
Absolutely. I'm
take a look at what she does. She's an amazing person, an amazing advocate, and all power to you, Yesse, and what you do.
Thank you. And just so you guys know, again, another platform available is Yes with Yesse, which was born not too long ago. It's a radio station on a New Season Gospel FM. I'm on every Thursday at 6:30. And you can also follow me on social media for that as well. It's newseasonfm.com. And that's a platform where we can provide information, resources, community events, and things for all people, but to include individuals with disabilities, which I don't think is there's much of that out there, as far as
there's not
media like that. So I'm very grateful for that opportunity. And so again, every Thursday at 6:30, newseasonfm.com, and you guys can check it out there.
So everyone, if you want to learn more about Yesse and see her presentation on July 31st, she'll be joining us between 9 a.m. and 2 p.m. So we hope to see you there. And thank you for your time, Yesse, today, taking this opportunity to talk to everyone and who will be watching this. We appreciate your time.
Absolutely. Thank you. Thank you for creating this platform, for all you do. And, the one message for everybody would be that more of us, more of you, more of me need to be out there and proving to people that we can do what it is that we set our minds to do, regardless of our disability. So just gotta
we have to continue educating, advocating, and empowering possibilities for individuals with disabilities. That's the whole point, to create possibilities.
That's right.
It only takes one possibility, one opportunity, one person to make a difference.
That's all it takes, guys. Just one.
All right. Thank you, Yesse.
Thank you, Danielle.